Not very nice. Mayor, have you found who's replacing us?
Not yet.
Still working on
Yes, still working on it. Sorry,
it?
I got distracted.
See what they do.
Oh, there's Greg.
Yeah. 24, 29, 40.
Because the next meeting is just the handoff. The next one, the following after.
Monday, because yeah, it's the first meeting in May.
Gotcha. So it's a full on meeting
They always have.
at the end of April.
Once they move.
Yeah. Yep.
Regular,
Yep. Okay.
what, regular last meeting.
Okay. Yep.
Nobody's on.
Miss anything?
No.
We're just waiting.
I just impeached you.
I got a half a minute.
We can't start without him.
Oh, we could if it was 6:30.
We have to call the roll.
You know what the roll is, you don't need to call it.
Could have done it.
Yeah, Brian could have done it.
Wouldn't be the first time.
I don't like that, you covering that role. You should be here every time.
Thank you, Greg. Alderman Cruz.
Thank you. You're welcome.
It's coming in hot. How are you doing?
All right. All right. It is 6:30. I'd like to call this meeting of the
Hanging around.
City of Morrison City Council to order. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Bruckner,
Here.
Cruz,
Here.
Mahaffey,
Here.
Schlegel,
Here.
Travell,
Here.
Pickler,
Here.
West,
Here.
Zeidema.
Here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
Under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I did not see anybody signed up for public comment. I do want to take a moment to show a brief presentation. This is something we're pursuing with Nathan and city administrator and I. We were approached actually by this organization, the National Fitness Campaign, about I call it exercise pad, they call it fitness court and studio. And there is grant money available for that. We would have to find some matching money, but look at the opportunity here, if you would please.
Changing the way America thinks about fitness. From municipal parks and trails to college campuses to high schools nationwide, we're bringing free fitness everywhere, and we're just getting started. Hi, I'm Mitch.
Sorry.
National Fitness Campaign was founded in 1979 when we opened the first fitness. Redesigned for the 21st century, the fitness court is the world's best outdoor gym. Our 7-movement, 7-minute system allows you to use your own body weight to get the perfect workout. Easy or hard, it will work for you. Our goal is to build healthy communities by making outdoor fitness an essential part of people's lives so that each day is better than the last. Now more than ever before, it is vital that we move fitness outdoors to remain safe, healthy, and strong.
Michigan Anders, we, as soon as we can, we go outside, which is one of the reasons why the fitness court was such an attraction to us. What impressed us most was their basic philosophy that they want to provide world-class fitness for free. Surely anyone can use it, no matter what your age is, no matter what your physical fitness level is, no matter what your skills are, it is very adaptable.
This fitness court is one of the best things that San Jacinto has ever done.
Thousands of certified ambassadors will be trained to deliver classes, challenges, and clinics as part of our national fitness campaign. New programs are bringing students outdoors across America. The Fitness Court mobile app is your gateway to enroll in these programs. Simply scan the new digital wall with your phone to access the library of free workouts designed to optimize your experience on the fitness court. Learn the moves and take challenges as we dig deep to create impact for our partners across America. This year, we are thrilled to introduce the Fitness Court Studio, the ultimate community wellness hub, uniting the power of yoga, Zumba, bodyweight fitness, and the arts. Fitness Court Public Art continues to grow and inspire across the country as local artists collaborate to bring beautiful, one-of-a-kind murals to life on fitness courts and Fitness Court Studios. We're proud to have helped cities of all sizes raise millions of dollars from respected sponsors to support free fitness. Wherever fitness is the priority, you can find the Fitness Court. We're partnering with large cities using urban movement data to map the best locations for healthy infrastructure. We're bringing fitness courts to within 10 minutes of population centers everywhere.
They provide these wraparound services that from a city's perspective, that's what you want in a partner like this. You want it to come presented to you on a silver platter with a bow tied around it. They're one of the best partners, I think, that I personally have ever worked with.
We serve almost 1.2 million members across Michigan. And this partnership really is an opportunity for us to bring scalable, free health and wellness opportunities to our community. So I would actually invite cities and organizations, big and small, to explore the opportunity to invest in fitness courts. To be very honest with you, the feedback from different municipalities and different communities has been very positive.
We are committed to raise over $1 billion to bring the campaign to 5,000 cities and schools, building the largest outdoor fitness movement in the world. Join us. Let's make world-class fitness great.
Excuse me. So as of right now, the message is, please watch this space. Had some Nathan and Brian and I have been in conversations with some of the grant sponsors. The one particular to Morrison will be Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, which has some 15 grants this year, I think, and 11 of them are still available. So City Administrator Melton will do what he does best, pick up his pen and write a grant. And we'll be back with more specifics as far as dollars and cents go in the future. We just wanted to let you know that that's something that's out there. We can leverage the notion of building a recreational trail to the sports complex so that you wouldn't have to drive. That's one of the things that will get you a grant. It's like, if you can go there without having to drive, you can go there with riding your bike or running or whatever. You're this much higher in the grant queue. So that's the philosophy. And if you want the web link or anything like that, or a deck, some of our conversations, just let me know and we'll forward some of that information. Okay. City officers, Chief, you submitted a written report. You have anything to add?
Just that we received our TASER grant money this afternoon for $16,000. I was talking with CA about.
Okay.
And that'll be our first payment, so we won't have it there.
All right. Okay. Want to add to the
Mr. Mayor, I just have a couple things. Some more recent updates since I did my report for you as well. The sewer lining project is on its way to get started a week from today. They will start in specific areas on the south side of town where we have identified and have grant approval to do those sewer lining projects. It's kind of a phased project. It all has to be done by the end of June. So they're going to come in and they're on the ball and they're going to start it, like I said, next Monday they start with cleaning those lines, which we will try and get the message out there, and they will be going door to door with notices, because one of the important things in your residence is to make sure your toilet lid is shut, because as they're cleaning out the system, it can push things back up into residents. Not serious messes, we'll call it, but enough to make people notice and complain about it. So the contractor as well as us will do our due diligence to make sure that we notify those people that will be affected as they're spinning those lines. Also with that same project is, I don't know if you call this good or bad news or just news. So if you remember, we received $1.3 million in funding for this project. If you remember, the main bid of our contract or our bid award was $600 and some thousand. And then we had an alternate bid. Well, the alternate bid was not within the original bid, so we cannot use that until we reapply for it next year. So essentially, there's a few things that we're gonna try and add to the grant yet, but essentially is we won't be able to spend all $1.3 million and stay compliant with the grant. So we're gonna do our best to spend as much as we can because it's 100% grant, and what we don't get done or can't get funded through this process, we'll turn right back around and apply for next year. So that's all I have.
Okay. I would also note that Nathan Jacobs did submit a written report as well, and if you do have questions, you can contact him on the Parks and Recreation angle. Items 1 through 4 comprise the consent agenda. Does anybody wish to remove anything from the consent agenda? If not, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? It's on the floor for further discussions. Do you have any questions about specific items? All right, if not, there is money involved, so we need a roll call vote, clerk.
Bruckner.
Yes.
Cruz.
Yes.
Mahaffey.
Yes.
Schlegel.
Yes.
Travell.
Yeah.
Tickler.
Yeah.
West.
Yes.
Zeidema.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Right. All right, then, starting on our page 19, resolution establishing an economic development fund. This has been exposed. And it's also monies for which and a budget line item are established in the proposed budget, which we'll discuss later, but that has also been brought up in discussion at earlier meetings. Is there a motion to approve that resolution?
Second.
Mayor, if I can ask, so these aesthetically pleasing projects are great for the town, but say, for example, we had a structural issue, as we know, we have ancient buildings down there, and you know, something could happen, knock on wood. Would the council be able to look at this fund then to throw at that, you know, a situation like that, as well, or is this strictly restricted to? I'm just concerned if an emergency happens or whatnot, you know what I mean? Like, maybe that would come from a different fund or whatnot, or would we look at something like this type of money for that as well?
Well, it would have to be private property to begin with.
Yeah.
All those buildings downtown, if you're speaking, are all privately owned, and we're not necessarily responsible for.
No,
But
I'm just thinking of the one building on the corner of like Genesee that the city had to do something about because
the city didn't have to, they chose to.
We're not gonna do that again.
God, no.
Right, we're not doing that again.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, provided you guys
Right.
don't want to vote for it, so.
Well,
But this is just, this is exactly what it says it is for economic development. And you can twist that any way you wish, should the council choose
The council
to
could-
fund a project through this fund.
When are all these rules and the amount of money that's gonna be given to the Preservation Society and all that stuff? When is that all gonna be done?
I don't have the answer to that question. I do know that the historic preservation is working on just their proposed draft to fine tune those rules.
that is part of it, right?
That's part of it, yes.
So who is actually working that out, how that's all gonna work?
Well, the Historic Preservation Commission is kind of wanting to do their own work on that, and then they will propose it to the council.
When is that gonna happen, you know?
Hope within the next month or two,
After the next.
because I'd like to have it established before we start,
A new fiscal year?
a new fiscal year, or at least start funding any projects.
So all we have to do now is establish the framework, of whatever it is, and then. that'll
We
be-
have it, they just want to update it. Yeah, we have it, it's already established in ordinance.
It just has to change.
When we originally started in downtown improvement, it was to improve the existing building, like replace doors, replace windows. And now we're spreading out to where we're funding additions, like if we're referring to the Bogut building, which is on the agenda. They put on a new frontage and everything. It wasn't intended for that. It was to improve the building. When this program started, and now we're spreading it out to include other things. So I don't know, the funding is gonna always be there.
Well, wasn't that the appearance things, improve the looks of the place, not necessarily the structural problems that they have or like that, right?
Right.
It's just to make the place nicer looking from the outside.
To draw, yes, to draw. Opportunities for local development. For our economy. For people to come here, oh, look at the nice buildings, kind of thing. You know,
Tons of those people,
yes,
they're coming from everywhere.
okay, well, you know what? You can't sit here and just complain about it, you have
Right,
to
right.
try something,
Well, yeah.
unless you just want to be that dying community.
Main Street is much more vibrant now than it was 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Right.
it is, and
So-
I'm not saying that I'm against that, I'm just saying that there are. From my experience, there are structural problems in old buildings that are enormously expensive, and the city can't get involved in that.
No.
It has to be just outward signs that we're going to. Pay some amount of for them to do, like they painted that building downtown and this and that.
Exactly.
Awning up and this and that, and like you say. From 2.5 years ago until now. The city downtown is much better as far as I can see.
I have a question. So just with this one. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but I seem to recall that. The city used to manage a fund like this, and then that was all of that was handed over kit and caboodle to MADC. So are we going to no longer, because I know we give monies to MADC. I just feel like this is something, why isn't MADC doing this? Why isn't MADC coming in and for programs they already theoretically have in place? Is it because I know that they only employ a director like part-time.
We
Maybe
normally
they
work
need to
it.
have somebody full-time that'll actually get out and get some stuff done.
Well-
Well, that came across wrong. That'll actually push this.
Mhm.
So are we gonna pull the fundings back from MADC that the city contributes? And aren't we just resurrecting something? You guys would remember this, that the city had already done.
Yeah, this kind of apples and oranges. And we did hand over approximately $400,000 to MADC. It was that choice to keep it in our community for economic development, area development, or just give it back to the state.
Yeah, we had to do something.
So we found a mechanism and a commission willing to take that money. And they do a building improvement program through MADC, which is separate from what the city does. They do loans and they do small grant projects.
And I would love, because we learned that and I didn't know they did grants now, but we learned that when Liz spoke.
Yeah.
And I just want to echo again that I hope we can coordinate more with them. Know what they're doing, spread the wealth or focus on a big or whatever, but just work with them. So that we make sure that we're not duplicating efforts or if we.
That's
you
what
know
I'm
I
saying,
mean?
rather than duplicate administrative time and costs. By creating a parallel fund, in my opinion, to what they're supposed to be doing. Why? Why wouldn't we just
The
either
council,
increase the amount that we're giving to them per annum?
but
or-
the council relinquishes any decision making then. Right.
Well, one is development and the other one is appearance. $400,000 to develop things.
And low, small
That
business.
was that was gap loans,
But
right?
what we do is, I mean, what the city would do or the preservation, historical preservation is. They're trying to maintain the look,
Mhm.
preserve the look of history in the town.
That's not what this says, Rick. If you read-
That's what it should say,
Well,
and
it
it
says the
can say
purpose of the
that.
fund, if you read it.
It can say that. We're saying that we're going to be voting on a framework in which the Preservation Society can make decisions on how much money they give to this one for that, and this one for that. And then we have to have a limit on how much, and then if it goes over that, then it has to come to the council, that kind of thing. That's a whole different thing than development.
Correct, and I'm understanding this as separate and distinct from the issues or the ideas with the historical preservation
That's gonna. be
society.
all
This is an economic development fund.
Mm-hmm.
This is not for historical or for preservation.
But it routes.
That is a line, the
We will,
Historic
yeah.
Preservation Commission Building Improvement Program is a line item in this fund. So it is part of this fund because it's part of economic development. Historic preservation to some is a way to attract people, which is economic development. So that's why, at least that's how I built this fund to propose to you. And it only made sense to put that type of program in this fund. And if we don't use it from year to year, like we've done over the last, 10 years, it hadn't been used that much, but because it was part of the general fund, we weren't able to put that money aside in a restricted fund like we can now, should we have a time where people aren't using it as much as other times. So
The original fund was set up was $2,000, so.
things change.
That's not-
Alderman Travella,
Yeah.
things change.
You listen, I'm an advocate for this. However, I just want to make sure that we're not resurrecting something from the dead that this council decided in the past to hand over to another facility.
I'm not aware of ever having an economic fund before, in the last 15, 16 years anyway, so maybe before that.
This is pretty related. I just want to say that I would love if we could somehow, again, have a sign directing cars to downtown. I know that we're limited on 30 or whatnot, but like, it's getting nicer. We can all agree that good things are happening. I've met too many people that thought Route 30 was downtown Main Street.
Yeah.
And it's just an old timey era or something, you know what I mean? We're doing all this work. We have a ton of traffic coming through. It's, and maybe we could use I don't say the tourist money from hotels or something, throw that money at it, throw something,
Mhm.
Could be seen as economic development.
Well, and that is something we did early in my tenure with MADC. Kim pointed out that sign directing you to downtown is in the
Right.
wrong spot. We
Yeah.
just moved it,
Yeah,
but we only have the one sign. That's
Right.
your point, which
Yeah.
I fully recognize.
We didn't even put up news lights and signage or banners on Route 30 coming into Morrison when we did the main street.
right.
In the front of my daughter's shop is the old craft yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stupid. on the little side streets, but on the main street coming into the town of Morris, we did spend a couple $1,000s more, we can even do that, yeah.
Wait for the state to come in and rebuild the road.
All right, let's not get off.
Federal.
No.
Mention the National Historic Register or something.
And their Main Street program as well, yeah. So on the floor is this resolution to establish the fund. We see the subs that are gonna go into it. We've got a proposal in the budget that would wrap the historic preservation, our contribution to MADC and legal services. And the money would be coming in from the transfer from the general fund. Any further discussion? There's not specific money involved in this, but there's money, so let's have a roll call vote.
Bruckner,
Yes.
Cruz.
Yeah.
Mahaffey,
Yes,
Schlegel,
Yes.
Gravel,
Yes.
Tickler,
Yes.
West,
Yes,
Seidemann.
Abstain.
thank you.
All right. So on our page 23. To fund that fund, which you just approved. Transfer, the proposal is to transfer $40,000. Out of Fund 1 to establish Fund 8, which will be called the Economic Development Fund. Is there a motion to approve?
So. Second.
So that transfer of $40,000 is on the table for discussion, questions. And again, if you look at the proposed budget, you can see that on the budget on page 65. And then you can see the description. There is. Of removal on page 56. So that's how that all works together. Take the money out of the general fund, establish an economic development fund. And the budget reflects those actions, or the proposed budget reflects those actions, should you approve this. Any questions, any further discussion?
Yeah, what are we gonna do when we go surpass number?
I'm sorry, when we go what?
When we surpass this number? When we need more money? Go to the general fund again?
Yeah, if that's what the council chooses
Council has
to
to,
decide.
How much you paid out this year, 25? Which fire? You never
Just
had
looked at it.
fun.
you're, yeah,
Just
you,
looked at 25 something.
yeah, you can look on,
Oh, but there's this whole big thing with the tip this year. What's that all about?
Has anybody,
Oh,
has anybody approached MADC for any money? None. See, we had a presentation here that said, come see MADC, when nobody's approached them. Why
When
the
they
heck
funded
have
two
we-
projects, right? She said,
What?
they funded two projects. She said it to us at the meeting.
I just asked Jerry if anybody's approached him. He said, no.
Well, she said that they funded the briefing room and
you
another
might
one.
not have been here, but there was.
Yeah, also like, Urban Needs or God's Will.
Yeah, it was one of the,
Yeah.
and there was,
Refused to quit.
Yeah, something like that.
and that's why I said like, oh, wait, we funded them too. And we didn't know that the half that they were gonna get, the other half was gonna be from MADC as opposed to their own.
Okay.
to approve creating the fund. The motion on the table right now is to fund that. As proposed, $40,000 out of general fund. Any further questions? If not, would you call the roll, please?
Bruckner,
Yes.
Cruz,
That's,
I'm sorry,
that's Dan.
Mahaffey,
Yes.
Schlegel,
Yes.
Gravel,
No,
Tickler,
Yes.
West,
Yes,
Zeidemar,
no, I don't think it's enough.
motion carries. Five through one.
Item 4, the agreement between the city and the library, starting on page 24. As City Administrator Melton teed up in his written comments earlier, this renews and tightens up a couple of details in that agreement. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Okay, it's on the table for discussions and questions. This is a financial relationship. We should have a roll call vote. Would you call the roll, please?
Bruckner.
Yes.
Cruz.
Yes.
Mahaffey,
Yes.
Schlegel,
Yes.
Travell,
Yes,
Tickler,
Yes.
West,
yes,
Zeidemar,
yes,
motion carried.
Thank you. Okay, starting on page 29, the budget plan, if approved tonight, we will post it publicly and ideally would formally approve it at next council meeting. The budget starts on page 29. It's been exposed twice now to council. There have been some changes based on some the tax, so we don't have to have the $100,000 in the 911 budget. There've been a few adjustments since has been exposed to you, but basically it's there and it includes that proposal for the Economic Development Fund. Is there motion to approve that draft ordinance for public posting? It's on the table on the floor for discussion. Any questions? Well, I personally would like to thank City Administrator Melton. I had several questions. I went through them with plenty of Post-it notes, and we've got it clear in my mind. I think it adds up. And we've included the other thing I like on page 82, the priority list of capital projects. All right. Other comments, questions? If not, clerk, would you call the roll?
Bruckner,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Mahaffey,
Yes.
Schlegel,
Yes.
Travell,
yes,
Tickler,
Yes.
West,
yes,
Zeidemar,
yeah,
motion carried.
All right, so this will be posted for public comment and at next council meeting, take into account any public comments and ask for the final approval. Item 6. Tanks, pumps and sensors for wells 4 and 5 on your page 86 is the bid in the amount of $23,621. Is there a motion to approve?
Sorry.
Okay, it's on the floor for discussion. Do you have any background or?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm not the professional here, but our utilities superintendent, Shane Osborne, is on vacation. So I will talk very generally about this. These are the tanks in each of our well houses that treats the water with various chemicals, fluoride, chlorine, that sort of thing. EPA strongly suggests that that we have double wall tanks. Right now, we just basically have single wall barrel tanks in there. The systems are older. Well 4 is a little older than well 5 because well 5 is newer, of course, but they've had recent problems that they've had to repair and address. Once in a while, people would complain on at least social media about the smell of chlorine in their water, because at times inadvertently the pumps would throw more chlorine into the system than necessary, and that's why you get that extra smell. So we want to even that out. We need to just upgrade this equipment anyway. It's scheduled in this budget year. We're just kind of getting ahead of the ball to get the equipment hired and make the EPA happy, and to just upgrade our system.
That's the important thing. It's in the budget. Any further questions, comments? If not, clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Bruckner,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Mahaffey,
Yes.
Slagle,
Yes.
Gravel,
Yes.
Tickler,
Yes.
West,
Yes.
Zeidema,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, item 7, pay request for the work on the Public Works Building, from Daxon in the amount of nearly $27,000, starting on page 87. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
All right. Are there any questions? This work has already been approved, is that correct?
Is there ever any?
Yes. Yes.
Is there ever any discussion to use that upper level above the floor, above the main office for storage and stuff?
Yeah, no,
No.
because of the issue we ran into, it would have cost more to rebuild that up, and so that's just gonna be open space above the ceiling.
There's no insulation there,
Up, way up there is.
not just out there. Bare walls.
That,
Unless they put it in after 10 o'clock this morning, it's bare wall. That'll. Okay,
the project is moving along good. They expect to have, except for maybe a punch list, completed a week from this coming Friday. So.
Any other questions, comments? If not, would you call the roll?
Bruckner,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Mahaffey,
Yes.
Schlegel,
Yes.
Gravel,
yes.
Tickler.
Yeah.
West,
Yes.
Zeidema,
Good.
motion carried.
All right. We have one item for discussion, and I'll ask City Administrator Melton to describe the design build concept that he's teed up in previous council meetings. And then starting on page 90, you can see some drawings of a proposal of how this might work and how it might look when it's completed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to follow up again, as I hope we move another step closer to deciding whether or not this council wants to, number one, build this new cemetery building in the near future, and if they want to use the new Municipal Design Build Authorization Act of the state statute. And in that decision-making process, I have been doing some homework and have met with Don Beswick several times on an idea for, or actually two different ideas, just different size buildings for this project. So I had this put together. I have certainly many more detailed pages and pictures, renderings of the building, but I wanted to cover the overall general basics of this building and illustrate what the cost would be, addressing what I hope to be everything necessary to complete this building. Please keep in mind that nothing is cheap when a municipality builds something, or as you all know, gets a contractor, because we have to pay prevailing wage. So all these costs are based on prevailing wage, but I know this isn't a house, but if you built this size of house right now, it would cost you twice as much. So relatively speaking, when you look at a $300,000 building project, it's not terribly out of line. There's certain ideologies out there, ways to do this that may make one think we can do this cheaper. But ultimately, we still have to pay the same prevailing wages, even if we try and split this out to save some money. But that's the purpose of kind of doing something like this, to get around construction management and engineering, because we know how that went last time we were talking about a building. So right now, I'd like to be focused more on the one-step process of building a building than trying to finalize what the building plan is going to be and cost. Because once we establish that we're going to do it in the design manner, then we can go back and work out the details of the building.
Ryan, are we kind of removing everything, or do we not have much in that township building that we bought down the road? Like, were we, I'm just not familiar, were we driving stuff up from there to the cemetery? Is that what we've been doing, or?
Yeah, we do have some stuff stored down there because of the cemetery shop we have now isn't big enough or quite tall enough. During the winter time, we need that building down there because that's where our salt is right now. We need a backhoe and loader, whatever you want to call it, there to load salt. It's really nice to have a heated garage right there for it.
We'll always need
And
that.
so, will we always need that building?
With this one, I'm just, wondering.
I don't-
why we built this one,
I don't think we will always need that building down there if we get that salt shed moved.
Yeah.
Um,
And I mean, that's all other topics too about controlling that and whatnot. I realize that. I was just wondering that the use of that building relative to us building this. Right.
yeah, well, it's not, operationally, it's not convenient, we'll call it, for the cemetery.
Yeah.
And people still go up to the cemetery shop, inquiring from Trey and Michael about plots and locations and stuff, and well, you guys have all seen that shop. It's not, it's served its time, but it's time to go.
Well, I agree with that way of going about it with the single contractor and through the state. But I have to ask you, you're saying that if you built a house the same size as that building would cost $600,000?
Right now, to build a house, it's between $275 to $300 a square foot to build a new house. And this building is 2,400 square feet.
Guess I'll keep the one I got then.
Well, because we don't do the engineering and we don't have to put it out for bid, but are we, I realize, are we having conversing with a number of different providers that do this building, or is this person uniquely suited to build this building? Are we still shopping at all, or not?
Yes, ultimately, we would have to open this up to take bids from other contractors as well to do the design build.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
So this is
an
the example for
This is,
discussion.
this is
Okay.
just a working
Thank
example.
you. Yeah, well done.
Okay.
So will every contractor know what they're bidding on or for or with?
Yes,
You're gonna have a set.
I'm gonna have a
set of
I'm gonna have a
specs.
spec sheet that this council will approve
Okay,
to establish that. And just keep a little perspective. I want to do the homework, but I didn't quite get to it today, but if you remember, we did that small storage shed out at the sports complex. And before we added electricity and a little side fence and concrete, the building shell alone with a concrete floor and the contractor to build it was right around $50,000. Maybe just a little less than $50,000 to build that. And we tried to piece that together, and we put the electric in afterwards. It's still not insulated, and it's just a this bare minimum building, so. And that was still 50 grand.
Is that a wood building?
Oh, it's a wood frame.
Menards building.
It's a Menards kit building, yeah, but it's a wood frame building with steel siding.
In this scenario that we got from Beswick, I don't see any insulation in the sidewall. Or I don't see any metal between the metal and the insulation.
That is, all those details are in the detailed sheets that I do have in my office that I can share with you. But the idea is to, will be, 4-inch walls, I believe, studded walls. And the interior will be metal sheeting with all the exposed, conduit on the inside of the building. Very basic. It's the cheapest way to do it, and if we ever want to do any repairs, maintenance, or add like electrical, it's all exposed, it's all right there, so. But it is all insulated, the attic area, the ceiling is all blown in insulation.
So your cost estimates are fairly accurate or a roundabout or estimate, I'm guessing?
It's just one example
Very-
here, right?
Well, very accurate for a WIC building.
Okay.
Back in 2000, Rick was on the board with me and Lori. And we worked on this project for several years. Nothing ever happened. The next thing you know, we went into the big building, and this little building got forgot about. Back then, the building was 40 by 72, a little bigger than this. We started working with Beswick. Then I was presented a guy that built all metal buildings, all steel frame and everything. And so we got bids. And Beswick was nowhere near in the ballpark from this other company. It was like 106,000 for the metal building, and it was closer to 200,000 for the Beswick building. Now take that was just the shell, that was not a finished building that we were working with. But back then, between wood and steel, there was no comparison.
And now, and that was
2020 probably.
yeah, 2020, not 2005,
You said
or 2000, right? Just a couple years ago.
Yeah,
Right.
well, yeah, 5 years.
Yeah.
What did I say? 20?
Yeah, you said 2000, 25 years ago.
5 years ago, Harvey.
Okay.
No,
So,
2020.
2020. 9 of 2020 it was, so. As long as everybody has the same specs, it's, yeah.
well, and you as a council will, I guess, have to decide. If you want a wood frame building or a steel frame building. I did a little homework on steel frame buildings, and now today. Comparing apples to apples, a steel frame building is more expensive than a wood frame building. By how much? I can't tell you that, but everything I'm reading is you're gonna pay more for a steel building.
I think so.
And this WIC example is a steel building, yes?
No, it's a
Oh, it's
wood
wood
frame
frame?
building with
Okay.
steel. Go by and see Arnie Drolema's
Yeah,
building.
okay.
It's
Right, same.
that was just a smaller version, but that's a wood building.
So we put this on the agenda to discuss and tee up the concept. Questions, comments are always welcome, and there'll be more forthcoming.
Are you wanting direction as far as if we're doing the single source or single? Or did we decide that already?
Yeah, feedback would be
I mean.
good if you guys like that idea. Some of you have already expressed your support of it, but I think it's kind of a, I don't want to say no brainer because there's always difference of opinions, but I think it for what we are trying to do and a municipality our size and the budget we have and the purpose for the building, I think this is our best route.
Mark me as for support, I don't think that's. That's just.
Well, I appreciate that, though.
In 2020, this was very hard to do.
You couldn't, yeah, this new act.
Yeah.
Authorization Act
Yeah, take advantage.
wasn't established until 2023. So maybe somebody stole Harvey's idea and made it a state law. Perhaps. You're ahead of your time, Harvey.
Okay.
My time's just about done.
All right.
I like whoever drew in the bathroom. I know I was.
Yeah. Somebody's kindergartner, I think,
Yeah, that
but
wasn't- He wanted to give us an
it
idea.
was clearly missing from one of the earlier drawings, yes. Okay. At this time, I would entertain a discussion, a motion to enter executive session.
Before we do that, I've got housekeeping. County clerk wants these in for 6 people in council. If you've got one, they still have to be done, even if your term is expiring. It's for this year. They're on a calendar year,
I think I
not
just
on
mailed
a
mine
fiscal
in.
year. What?
I think I just mailed mine in.
You're on the audit list.
I know.
Oh,
I
okay.
think I mailed it in.
When's it due, Mike?
May 1st,
They don't have it in. I mean,
It might be important.
May 1st or May 15th, something.
Where did Doug write it?
Gotta do it.
I don't know where it is.
It's for calendar year 24. Yeah, unfortunately. Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to enter executive session?
Second.
Okay. Stay. All those in favor? All right. At 7:21, I declare we are in executive session. You got to turn that on.
Just close it, will you, please?
So. On the off chance that somebody locked in. Shelley's out there. Okay, Shelley. a motion to appoint Officer Moon as interim chief of police effective May 5, 2025.
Second.
Any further discussion on that? Let's do a roll call.
Bruckner,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yeah.
Mahaffey,
Yes,
Schlegel,
Yes.
Travell,
Yes.
Tickler,
Yes.
West, Sideman.
Yeah.
Motion carried.
A motion effective May 1 of, for non-union staff, not including the chief position, for, 4% raise.
So moved.
There a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? This is financial. Discussion's appropriate. If not, clerk,
and I'd like to just go on the record to say that I believe if we're changing the payments, that the contracts for the contracted employees should be rewritten to match the dates.
noted. Further discussion? Clerk, would you call the roll?
Bruckner,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Mahaffey,
Yes, as cited.
Schlegel,
Yes.
Travell,
Yes.
Tickler.
Yeah.
West,
Yes.
Sideman.
Yes.
Thank you all very much. A motion to adjourn is in order. Anybody against it? Hearing none. At 7:50, we are adjourned. Thank you all.